Hello, my name is Beth MacDonald Stone, and I'm an avid knitter and knitwear designer coming to you from Bermuda. I hope you're all well. I hope you've got your knitting and whatever it is that you'd like to, do while we have a quick chat. Our 2-week catch up. Catch up, not catch up, but sorry. Anyways, all's good here. Back to school for my son, and we're sort of in that amazing season for being a knitter, the beginning of fall. It does feel actually fall-like here in Bermuda. It's been overcast the last week and probably most of this week too, which means that it's been cooler temperatures and really nice to be out and about. I like overcast. I like exercising and walking and everything in the rain. I'm not a great person in the direct sun, so I'm happy as Larry. The weather, the temperatures, the overall temperatures, like if the sun were to come out, it would still be really hot. So we're not going to probably see actual fall-like temperatures until October, November, but I've got these 2 weeks of sort of overcast and kind of feeling like fall, and I'm loving it, and maybe I'll bring out the Halloween decorations soon just because why not? It's fun. Anyways, so that's that. So perfect time of year to show off a new vest design. This is the featured pattern for this. I knit two for this episode, and sort of kicking off the fall season, and I'm excited, super excited. It's nice to be wearing this vest. I couldn't do it not in air conditioning, but here we go. So thank goodness for air conditioning and a little bit of a fall feel. So this is the featured vest or featured design for this this episode. Because we're into fall, I'm back into sort of rolling out patterns quite frequently, and I'm really excited. I've been working on these for quite a long time, and so this is fun. I hope you find it fun too. So this is called the Dimond Laine Vest, and it's Dimond Laine because this is Dimond Laine yarn, which is a yarn brand under the sort of the Lamb & Kid umbrella. So I'm using Percy here. This is not Dimond Laine yarn. This is Pasquali yarn and some other things. Let's just focus on this one first, and then I'll talk about this one after. It could get confusing, and there's no reason. And this one is a real true example of the design. Luna's on the porch, keeping watch, so we might be doing the inside-outside thing a little bit, so bear with me, sorry. Right, so this is the Dimond Laine Vest. It's knit in Percy, which is a gorgeous fiber with a very large cashmere content, so it's really special. Also, because of that, there's an incredible drape, and it just forms to your body so beautifully. So I love this. I knit this with the colors Loam, which is the body, Francie, which is the sort of chartreuse, and Chalet Chic, which is this sort of very icy green with a hint of blue in it, mint color here. Love it. It's just a simple design, top down in the round. The increases are done along the shoulders. You separate for this, sleeves, and then rejoin in the round. Once you've rejoined, there's color work, just a little bit, and then bound off. Really simple to wear. I love it. And I think just a great for the transitional seasons. Also, I get hot, so vests are great, and then you could put like a jean jacket over it, and then strip or dress as needed. Anyways, so that's that one. Really love it. I think the Lamb & Kid have tested it too, so they know the pattern's coming. So I think they're gonna have kits ready, but it's really fun. It's a fun vest. I'm really excited about it. So the first one I knit, because of course sometimes with designs like it takes a little while to get the full expression, or the completed thought or the refined thought. This was the first one I knit, and I love this one. In this one, I was playing with shadows in the yarn, in the secondary yarn, and playing with shadows by using different mohair. I don't think it was really worth it, so I didn't do it for the final version. But I do love this vest too, and I'm a purple person, I think, as I go gray. The purple looks even better on me. So I love this one. This is Pasquali in their Suave, which is an amazing yarn. It's like it's very similar to like a Surrey alpaca, except it's 100% cotton. So if you have any allergies or whatever to Surrey or mohair or whatever, alpaca or mohair, this is a really great alternative. And then I carried along with it some Jamieson and Smith and Holst for the colors. So this is Pasquali Suave held along with Jamieson and Smith's, and I don't have the names, I'm so sorry. I think Pasquali is all by number. I have a funny feeling like 68, 66 and something. Anyways, it's all in. I realize that my show notes that I'm working off of here don't have that information, so I will be sure to include that, and that'll be all linked below. Yeah, really pleased with that. So this was the initial one that I started with. Really love it. Pasquali yarns are really amazing. I mean, I love Jamieson Smith and whole Supersoft and stuff. And I feel like we've talked about that, and I call them my workhorse yarns. And so what I usually do is, I mean, they're just my staples, and I have a good amount of cones, and they're my workhorse yarns. And so what's nice, what I'm enjoying to do is to put this sort of special yarns and marry them and create new mixtures. So this, in my mind, is a new mixture with this Suave and Jamieson and Smith 3-ply or whatever, the jumper weight, the very thin, very fine, and it creates a fabulous. The sun sort of the light's hitting that. It's a really fabulous fabric, very cohesive, I find with all the Pasquali yarns that I've knit with, and I'm going to talk about that in the next one, but they're very beautiful to knit with, and they create a really beautiful cohesive fabric. So I find that really special. I found this yarn to be really special too. I mean, it's a cohesive fabric and everything like that, but I don't know why I can't put my finger on what's different about this, but this is pretty amazing. This is amazing for a different reason. I mean, there's the cashmere, and it's so beautifully dyed, and it is a lovely yarn. It's very soft. It's very drapey. So I'm trying to explain the benefits of the different yarns, and I'm really big supporter of using stash and just trying to decide when you're making yarn selections or yarn choices for a design, whether it be mine or whoever's. It's really interesting to sort of not only focus on weight that people are completely obsessed on, where I do think you should be more obsessed on how it knits up, and how it knits up, like, while it might be called a DK, it actually might knit up more like a worsted, or it might actually knit up more like a sport. So don't go totally by what companies say, this is a DK, this is a, fingering, whatever. I would love for everyone to sort of blow that up and learn, what does it like to knit up with? What stitch gauge does it like to knit up with? And then find your pattern from that. Also, when you're picking yarns, it's not so much, again, the weight of the yarn, and it's not so much the color, which I think are the two defining factors that people really use as guides and maybe get down the wrong path. And I think that's a shame, because the other thing that we need to start thinking about is, what do those fibers add to the yarn? So the cashmere, obviously, just sumptuous, it creates an incredible elasticity, an incredible drape, an incredible texture. That's what the cashmere content is going to do for this. And just really stunning. With this, I'm getting two Pasquali yarns mixed. The Suave is going to work like a Surrey mohair. That's not got, there's no silk content with the central cord. It's 100% cotton. So that's going to be a little different. It's not going to have the drape of a mohair with a silk cord, or a Surrey with a silk cord. This is going to be a cotton with a halo, a small halo, but a halo nonetheless, that will bloom and fill in the crevices of your workhorse yarn. And the workhorse yarn, if it's Jamieson and Smith or Holst Supersoft or something like that, that's going to add structure. So this fabric that I've created is, while similar in stitch size and weight or gauge, it's quite a different fabric to this fabric. And both have, I think both work equally well, but very much part of the consideration. I would say even before you think about like DK fingering, whatever, it should be gauge that you like. It should be texture, finished fabric you like that's going to achieve the look, the drape, the whatever that you're looking for. And then color. And then refining, you know, all of those things. I mean, stitch gauges can be fudged. We've talked a lot about that, and we can talk more about that with doing your math and stuff like that. But I really think finding the fabric that you like with the right characteristics for whatever you're knitting needs to be put in the forefront. And I love that. That's part of my interior design background. With interior design, of course, I did a lot of renovation, so I worked with concrete tile, appliances, masonry, cabinetry, whatever. So, but not that. We're talking about the fabrics. I live in Bermuda, so there's a lot of sun. So window treatments are a really big thing, or upholstery is a big thing too. So when you're looking at fabric for window treatments, you've got to also look at what are you trying to achieve? What, you know, is this person right under the sea? So therefore you can't put silk. You know, if you want a lot of drape, but you can't put silk, then you use like synthetic. Do you see what I mean? So it's the same for me with interior design for choosing fabrics, as sweater design or garment design or knitwear design for choosing fabrics here, or the end result fabric. I hope I haven't confused anyone, but I think it's a really worthwhile starting point, and then working back from that fabric that you're creating, that texture, that drape, that whatever, that look. You know, some fabrics can look very rugged. Here, okay, I don't want to skip ahead of myself, but like this is a very rugged rustic fabric, and that has a different look and a different feel and a different use and a different drape than this very exquisite, elegant cashmere fabric. And you really, 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 I think, need to work on that's your starting point. Then stitch gauge, blow away whatever they say. Don't listen to fingering, DK, whatever. So fabric, stitch gauge, then color. Does that make sense? I hope so. And I hope these are really good. See if I sit like this, because this is the portrait here. So you can see this has that lovely halo. It appears more dense, but it's not. It's the same stitch gauge, but it creates a different fabric than, am I in the shadow of this? Than this fabric, which is very drapey and very, has a different feel. Both totally relevant, both very successful, I think, in my opinion, and that's what matters. As successful in your opinion, it's your knitwear, it's your designs, it's your knitting, I should say. Success in my mind is, you know, for me. And anyways, I hope that helps. But anyways, I didn't write any notes on that one, that little tangent. So I hope that tangent was helpful. We can talk about it more. If you want to talk about it more, put comments down below, and we can talk about fabrics relating to knitwear. We don't need to talk too much about sort of fabrics in Bermuda and upholstery versus drapery and, you know, UV ratings and all, you know, how many micro rubs and, you know, whatever. Like, that's a different world. But the two totally collide. And I think that's fun and exciting. So anyways, and that's the backbone of my of how I knit, and always has been because of that. Okay, so Dimond Laine Vest, hope you love it. It's great. There's some great test knitting ones that should be up on Ravelry too. Head to Ravelry. It's 20% off for the first week, as always. So I'm going to be publishing this on Wednesday, Wednesday the 18th of September. And so I'll probably extend it to Thursday, the 18 plus 7 plus 1. So, oh gosh, 20. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm still thinking fabrics. I'm not thinking numbers. A week Wednesday or It'll probably be a week Thursday from this Wednesday, which is, again, I've forgotten, the 18th, 25th, 26th. Oh my God. How embarrassing. But sometimes, do you ever find that? Sometimes your brain just doesn't want to turn on in a certain direction when you've been going down one path and you ask it to do another one. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, still on this one. Anyways, there you go. A week Thursday. So let's move on. I'm a bit embarrassed. What has been finished? So almost immediately, can I just even lay it on this? No. Almost immediately after we chatted 2 weeks ago, I was able to finish this vest. This is the, when you wear it, your arms pull it down a bit. Anyways, this vest, which is still unnamed. I've been receiving some really fun suggestions for it. Love it. Everyone's sort of associating this with armor, which I think is really fun and fabulous. I haven't spent any time. I've written those suggestions down. Thank you so much. If you have more, send them. I'll put them on the list. I love this sort of community aspect of naming things. It's great. Anyways, but this, so I was talking about this design last 2 weeks ago. I'm really excited about it. I love the details. And I think this is really easy for me to go from this size and grade it up, because we were talking about, I think the neckline is a perfect size for this size and a larger. I also have been really focused on it and working on the charts for grading down, because I do feel that initially I just thought it was a neckline that would be too big for a smaller sizes, just overwhelming, I think, width-wise for a petite frame. But I'm also realizing that I think this sort of central panel here would be overwhelming on a petite frame, because if you sort of cut out some of the width. So it's, I find this interesting. So point being is I'm changing the neck size, obviously the cast on numbers, I'm changing the neck size, but I'm also going to change very slightly, but take sort of five stitches out of the central panel to make this, again, more proportionate to a smaller frame. I think I figured it out. I'm happy, I think, with my charts. I've got to revisit that. And then I will cast on the smaller size, because, again, I really want to knit it to make sure that, again, it looks balanced. It looks all relative to that grouping of sizes, as I strongly feel this one will be perfect for this grouping of sizes, if that makes sense. It's a really fun knit. I mean, I find knitting really fun, so I'm got to catch myself, because I'm always going to say it's a really fun knit. But yeah, it's top down, not in the round. It's done in panels. The back is not in total panels to the underarm. The back is a ribbing, an irregular ribbing, like with 3x2 or whatever. And then once you get down to the underarm area, you pick up the stitches and you work each side and then join and work down. And then pick up for the neck and the arm bands afterwards. It's not complicated cables, and there will be charts for everything. So I'll never tell you, like, bind off in pattern or cast on in pattern or whatever for the neckline. Like, it'll all be line by line by line, which I've done the former and it's doable. I really like to just relax when I'm knitting. So even when I'm designing, like if there's a chart, I'll have worked out the chart before I even start it, because I just want to kind of go a little bit on autopilot and then step back and take a look and criticize and change or whatever. So I'd rather do it that way than try to figure it out on the needles. That said, I did have to figure out how to best pick up the neckline on the needles. And I think what I didn't explain before is what I was trying to do, and the whole sweater is basically lining up panels. So the whole sweater is basically designed on a 3x2 ribbing, so that everything lines up. This is sort of this works out to a 3x2 in the end down here. And so the neckline picks up appropriately. And the most important that I think your eye draws on, if you're looking at someone from the front, is this sort of central cable here, and having it go up properly into that knit part of the ribbing. The back is super easy, because of course you've already got the 3x2 established, and it's a straight pickup, so that was not a problem. The front was a problem in the neckline, just to make it look like one section flows into the other. Again, sleeves, because of course the ribbing is going perpendicular, it doesn't matter. And the sleeves are super easy. Just, make sure that whatever you pick up is divisible by 5. And again, all that will be in the designs and instructions and stuff like that. So I'm not wanting you to have to figure those details out. I'm just hoping that that's all there for you. Now, the yarn for this is another Pascuali yarn called Charis, Cashmere Charis. So I guess I've been on a bit of a cashmere kick. I didn't really realize it. Pasquali did send me this yarn. The Lamb Kid did send me yarns, but some I bought and some they sent, and I've totally forgotten which is which. So this could have been yarn sent. This the Pasquali in this was yarn sent. So trying to be full disclosure, that sort of thing. The Pasquali I do know here was sent, the Charis, and that is stunning. It's such a round, plump, luscious yarn. I just love it, and I've held it double with an Isager mohair. So the Pasquali yarn here, Cashmere Charis, is color 03, which is just a really lovely gray, a light gray, and the Isager Silk Mohair is color 41, which is like a pale blue, and between the two I feel like gives a really nice kind of, is it gray, is it blue, it's kind of denim, it's kind of neutral, it's a nice cool neutral, which I think is really attractive. The next one that I'm going to knit, I think, and I keep changing my mind, I'm trying to use stash yarn, and I'm trying to also do a different yarn. I mean, I'd love to write out to Pasquali and order more and to knit more, but I do think it's really important to try to knit things in different yarns to show you options and to show you what the different fabrics look like with different options, because I do shop your stash, but also shop whatever you do you with your yarn. But I want to give you as much suggestions, and also the test knitters have been wonderful with all my patterns on absolutely not feeling the need to use exactly my yarn, and that's exactly what I want, so that you'll have lots of sort of other yarn suggestions, and then you can see the different fabrics and what appeals to you. So again, to create what I liked so much about this Pasquali Charis is its roundness, its plumpness, and its ability to hold lovely stitch definition, and specifically that of a cable. The cables are just so crisp. So what I'm thinking that's maybe a little bit different, but I think it will work just as well, is the Harrisville Nightshades, and I'll use a La Bien-Aimée silk mohair to go along with it. And the reason I'm using the silk mohair to go with it is more my appeal to play with color. So my idea is I've created the texture I want, and the texture here is largely, the mohair here was so fine in comparison to the Charis. So the mohair here was more to shift color, just to add a little bit more complexity in the color. And the predominant yarn that created this fabric is the Charis. I feel the same way with the Nightshades. I'm picking the one that I think, and again, I've just changed it again this morning, but I was going to do just the black with the vinyl with the black Shibui silk mohair, but I think what will be more interesting is to do the Harrisville black that is has sort of undertones of the dark blue, and using a sort of a very inky, blacky, dark blue mohair from La Bien-Aimée that I have, and to create sort of, again, depth of color, which I feel has been created here in the lighter tonal range, where I want to do one in the darker tonal range, just so that, again, comparison. I am aware that in the darker tonal range, you're not going to be able to see possibly the details like you are with this one, and I'm comfortable with that because I have that one, if that makes sense. So at least, between the two, hopefully your eye, a lot of time what happens with how you see things, if your eye can make connections from partial information, it will create a whole information. And I'm hoping that by having the dark option and the lighter option, that you'll be able to see between the two of them. all the details that you need to see and everything, and get all the information you wish to have before being inspired to cast on for yourself. So that is, I haven't cast that second one on because, so again, I feel like all this sort of, we did the Pasquali yarn to transition to here, to the finished objects, and now we're going to use the works in progress to explain why I haven't started the other one of this. And that's because I feel like I'm an endless stockinette, and I don't want to put any of my works in progress down right now until I'm over a few stockinette hurdles, because they can just sit. And we all know how, I do love stockinette. I think there's a lot of room for stockinette, but I usually would rather be a little bit smarter and have one thing in endless stockinette and one thing with some interesting color work and maybe a bit of cables, and you know what I mean, so that you have sort of for when you need to chat with someone, or when you want to watch a TV show with subtitles, or when you have the time and the energy and the focus to work off a chart. But right now I kind of screwed up and everything is stockinette. So I'm going to move on to what I'm working on now. And this one's going to be a little bit trickier to show, but maybe, hopefully I can just, can I loop this over this gal's neck? Oh, that kind of works. So that's fun. That looks like the body panel. But that's the front panel complete for Tanis Lavalley's design called the Fleetwood. She has two. She's got a cardigan version, which is, I can't remember what it's called. Sorry. I'll probably try to put it here. And then the Fleetwood, which is a pullover. I'm more of a pullover person than I am a cardigan person. I think I will design maybe one cardigan this year, maybe. But I love pullovers. I like pullover vests. I like pullover sweaters. I just find them a little bit more my style. For now, whatever. Styles change, don't they? So I'm doing the sweater version. I've done the 9 granny squares. I was using lots of scraps and leftover bits from other projects in DK. Largely, ironically, all this that I've bought, mostly, at least 60% of the DK remnants have actually been from past Rhinebeck trips, so that's kind of fun. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. Gosh, there's leftover Mota in the gray and the turquoise, which I bought at Vogue Knitting Live, which is fun. That's a leftover from another design. Can't even remember what that was. And then there's Ba Ramu Dovestone DK, that's the dark green, and there's Salkill Farm and the gray undyed, and anyways. So with this, did the join as you go method to put them together. It was a bit wonky. I did block it to try and square it. It squared as much as it did. It could be better. I used to crochet a lot, and I haven't crocheted in a good 12 years plus, and it was noticeable. I mean, I had to really watch YouTube for the join as you go. That 12 years ago would have been like, of course. And I'm super rusty, so I had to follow that. And I made some mistakes, and I think I made some mistakes in the granny squares and whatever. It is what it is. It's not. And I even made some mistakes in the. You have to do it for the side panels. You have to do a provisional cast on. And ironically, another sweater that's coming out soon has a provisional cast on, and I suggest a YouTube video. But me being lazy when I was doing this, I was like, I totally remember. I just did this. I just did this like a month ago or 6 weeks ago. Yeah, I didn't really follow the videos. Anyways, it's good enough. Whatever. No one's going to be down around my hips. I am working on the back panel. I'm sort of just over half of that done, and then I believe you join the shoulders and then pick up for sleeves or something. I'm not really sure. I haven't got that far in the pattern. I'm looking forward to this. It is funny. I've got a few color palettes that I seem to like. That's not that dissimilar to that. Isn't that funny? Do you find you go through color palettes, inadvertently? Is that the right word? Unknowingly? That I totally do. But I seem to really love sort of charcoal grays, dark greens, yellows, and turquoise. Turquoise comes in and out for me. I have sort of Bermuda, everything in Bermuda is turquoise because of our water. So I don't rush to having more turquoise, but it's a beautiful color. So I guess I'm in a turquoise phase too, which is fine. Anyways, okay, so that's the Fleetwood sweater by Tana Slavely. Great design. Love her writing style. Really fun. Really enjoying that. Okay, let's see if I can not mess up that, not rip out all the stitch holding. Another one that I'm knitting right now is another designer who I really admire. And will this work? Ooh, kind of. Bit weird, but whatever. And this is the For Fox's Sake sweater designed by Maxim Cyr. And I'm again using more... I didn't finish this by saying this is Gilead. My main yarn here is Gilead, Durham Natura Gilead, in the color Fusian, which is charcoal gray. And that's the inside. That's the outside, sorry. Love that. Going back to fabrics and whatever, this is really nice. This has got like a sort of a rustic without being toothy, so a gentle rustic texture. That definitely has a place. This is what I flashed before as being more rustic, like classically rustic fabric. And I love that because I kind of think my husband loves that. It's very much his style. It's very much what he's comfortable with. This is all twisted here, isn't it? Oh, okay. Why did I even bother? But yeah, so that's, I don't know what that little tab does, but it's going to hold on to the sweater. So this is fabric that I'm creating using Hillesvag ASK is the main fabric. And again, that's old stash. I had a little bit left, enough that I think I can get this sweater done, but I do have a backup plan. My friend, who I'll be seeing in a couple weeks, I know has some leftover. I think we might have bought it around the same time, so it's probably similar color family and everything like that. So I have asked her if I need it, can she bring it? So that's my backup plan. And it's Hillesvag ASK. It goes a long, long way. So I'm a bit surprised. I'm almost down to the ribbing. I've got, I think, another inch, and then the ribbing, and then I'll still have one full skein. Maybe that's enough to do my sleeves. We'll see. But I've got a backup plan, so I'm not going to stress over it. So that's Hillesvag ASK. The blue is Hillesvag ASK as well, but that was a different color. And I was again trying to use stash, and I didn't want to order things. It takes forever to get here, and it would just slow me down. So that was like a pale purpley blue, which didn't show up against the gray. And so I dyed that. I have dyes here. I have the acid dyes. I do dye every once in a while. It's never going to be a profession. It's just sort of more of a needs must. Like, again, living on an island, there isn't really a yarn store here. There's some yarn sold in town, not much, but when you're kind of getting into sort of particular fabrics or textures that you're going for, it wouldn't have worked. So, excuse me. So I'm just going to twist this around. I think this sleeve is slightly twisted, and I'm really hoping that my short rows aren't off. So that is good. So yes, so I have acid dyes. I can dye. It's not scientific. It's not specific. I'm really hoping I haven't twisted the neckline. Do you see how this is a little bit longer than that? I'm just going to, I think I have. Huh. That might be a problem. I might have to take the neckline out because I'm not doing that color work again. Can you see that? Things that you realize when you're recording. Because let's see. I think I really have, because if I line up this with this, then that's too deep. Okay, well, stay tuned. I'll have a solution for that coming up sometime. What a waste. When I knit other people's designs, and when I knit, I kind of like to check out. and I tried out a couple other blues and I kept ripping back, and I have a funny feeling that when I rip back, I twisted the neckline. Anyways, totally salvageable, I think. We'll figure it out. I'll cut it out, redo it. Really good. Yeah, the white, anyways, back to the colorwork yoke. The white yarn here is New Lanark Wool colored limestone, and I don't know why I have that. That's really old stash, really old. And I think that's really old from when another really good friend of mine had a yarn store here in Bermuda, and that was probably 10 or 12 years ago. So that I think is from her. And then the reddish color here is leftover Tukuwool DK that I used for, I think, the Poet or the Poetry sweater a number of years ago. Oh gosh, I really can't believe that. Oops. Anyways, thank goodness it's only knitting, and thank goodness you can always take it out, right? But I'm not going this way. I'm going to cut it and go down. I also did make a mistake. I forgot to do a line of the blue here, and I duplicate stitched that. So I think it looks pretty good. The color work is quite something. Really long floats, 95% 3 colors in every row. I found that a bit kind of like doing this, or see, I can't even do it, but I found trying to remember to catch floats, keep it loose, use the 3 colors, like add an irregular, so it wasn't sort of a geometrical motif that you're trying to work out. I found that took a lot of attention. I should have paid more attention, but it took a lot of attention. And I should have paid more attention there. So a lot of mistakes, whatever. They'll get fixed. This is my approach. Gosh, so I'll finish the body and then go back on that before I do the sleeves. But yeah, really love it, really having fun. And I can't wait for my husband to be able to wear it because it's his colors. The other thing that's really fun about this is we've always had rescue dogs, and you've met Luna. She's lovely. She's our current dog. She came to us at 2 years old. She's fantastic. The dog we had before was a Shiba Inu who came to us after he was retired from being a stud dog. And so he was a particularly beautiful Shiba Inu. So he did quite well. There were a lot of babies. And he came to us, and he is full of personality. And Shiba, I don't know if you know Shiba Inus, but they're kind of like cats in a way, like where they're very clean, they're very immaculate. Like he was not interested in walking in the rain or splashing in a puddle, or even sometimes grass was completely offensive to him. We always sort of joked that he liked to sleep on the stair landing right there. And, like pass him a cigar and a scotch as you walk away, and maybe a newspaper to read. Like he was such a dude. So we miss Blaze. Blaze was amazing. Blaze had this long name too. He was from Germany. They imported, the breeder imported him as the stud dog, and he came with a lot of papers. And his name was like Vormond and Blaze, and it went on. Like I never could figure it out. But and he was a legend. When he was younger and intact, he was known to be quite an escape artist as well, which we experienced too here when we had him retired. And so the dog warden knew him by name. And yeah, he was a real character. And yeah, so it's going to be fun for Jeff to have sort of this for Fox Egg sweater, which will just be like a blazy sweater. Yeah. Anyways, so I've got to fix that neckline. Yikes. So that's that. What I'm also working on, if you remember from the last 2 times, I've been working on a design that basically is to enhance hand-dyed yarns that we love to buy because they're so beautiful, and to keep the pooling or non-pooling consistent with all the panels so that it's not erratic. And this is just the fingering weight version. So this is sort of endless garter stitch. And I did garter stitch because I find that the purl bumps really help blend colors from row to row rather than creating more distinct lines. It creates more of a blurry, fuzzy, muzzy sort of a blended effect. So, and then the theory, which I talked about before, is basically all the panels are roughly the same width. So that roughly the pooling will be similar and not jarring. between sections, basically the concept being where something can pool when it hits a certain stitch number and not pool when it grows, or vice versa. So if everything's sort of the same width, then it'll all be consistent and therefore be a consistent fabric throughout, rather than having something that's dramatically one way here and dramatically different here, being two different diameters. So that's sort of fun. That's coming. And then vanilla shorty socks. Again, so this is why everything is just stockinette or garter stitch. I finished one. This is skein cocaine yarn in the Hugolite colorway. It's really fun. It's one of those sort of zebra style. And I'm working on the second. I just have to do the heel. So I usually just set aside some time to do the heel. I like to do the heel flap and gusset, which I haven't got that memorized. So I need to sit there and I tick off when I've done each section. So yeah, so that's kind of all what's the pattern highlight, what's off the needles, and what's on the needles, and what's going to have a little surgery. Whoops. These podcasts are so good because I don't think I would have noticed that until I literally had given it to Jeff, and that would have been really embarrassing. Anyways, okay, so that's really fun. Stay tuned on that. That will get fixed. So what else is going on? I just wanted to, last time we chatted, I was looking for names for the Entre sweater, which I'll put a picture up somewhere here. And so many great ideas, and thank you so much. I kept a list of them and reviewed them and revised them over and over again, and finally just fell on to Simply the Best Entre. And so in the picture that I'll put there will be what I've drawn up as the cover page for the design, and I think it's great because then just Entre is just the focal point. And Simply the Best just makes it a bit more unique because there are Entre patterns in Ravelry. Entre is, as you helped me remember or find the name, I knew there was a technique with traditional seamstressing with linens of separating warps and wefts in like a lovely sheet or a pillowcase or any sort of fabric. So you create like a hem stitch look, and sorry, I'm coming off camera. You create a hem stitch look, and you pull that apart and then reinforce those little shapes that you've created by moving the threads. And then the entre is usually when you put a ribbon through it. Another really great name that was given to me by a lovely viewer was A Ribbon Runs Through It. And I really wanted to use that name. It had been used already on Ravelry, but I'm not that hung up on that. But I was just more hung up on the worry that by saying a ribbon runs through it, that people will quickly just immediately assume that there is a ribbon running through it and dismiss it or just be misled. And I didn't think that was maybe the best one, but I thought it was really clever. So Simply the Best Entre, that's the winning name. Thank you. And that the finished pattern will definitely go to the lady who suggested that. So thank you. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly is what's coming up. So as I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of pattern releases coming along. And the next one to be released, and I'll put another picture here, is called the Sargasso Boxy Raglan. And that's a really fun, I'm just keeping an eye, I think that Luna's going on a doggy play date. And I need to definitely stop the video if the van drives up the driveway because she will go bananas. It's so exciting. And she I think she even knows, like Monday afternoon, she's like, I'm ready. Today's Monday. I'm ready. Let's go. I don't dare put on her harness before they come because she'll just be like whimpering. I think she'll have a heart attack of excitement. So it's kind of has to be sort of stealthful. But if the van drives into the driveway, then it's mayhem here because she's just beside herself. So excuse me if I'm looking past the camera. So the Sargasso Boxy Raglan, I'm really excited about it. It's a boxy fit, so that's what I like right now. Raglan shaping is usually increases for sleeves and body on every row. A boxy raglan is, a traditional raglan is sleeve and body increases every other row. A boxy raglan, for me, my concept is basically the body and the back, the body stitches get increased on every row, sleeves every other row. So you create like a really interesting boxy shape for the body, more narrow sleeves. So you've got sort of some balance between the two. Gives you a nice shape, shows off your shoulders. So even with a boxy look, it's still very flattering. And then the stitch pattern is a slip stitch pattern, which I think is really interesting. It's flame slip stitch pattern. I used to love flame stitch patterns in fabrics that I worked with, and so I'm always drawn to them with the knitting, and that's really fun. That's another design using the Lamb & Kid. Yep, Lamb & Kid trio, and mine is using avocado, miel, and plaid is my favorite color, and pop rocks. So it's avocado, miel, plaid is my favorite color, and pop rock. So it's 4 colors. Again, I knit these things so long ago, and they go through testing, and they go through all the tech editing and testing, and oh, there's the band off. She's happy. She's going down the driveway now with all her little buddies. Actually, ironically, the island is really small, and she was bred in Bermuda. So on her doggy daycare, it's her grandmother Nala and her uncle Loquat. So it's kind of, and they look like, they definitely look related, so it's kind of fun. And then there's a bunch of other dogs too, but yeah, so that's fun. So she's gonna come home really hungry and really tired and thirsty, and have had a lot of fun. So right, so back to Sargasso Boxy Raglan. That one, the Boxy Raglan, I'm really excited about. I can't wait to wear it too because it's so squishy. The yarn is fabulous. Lamb & Kid trio is just so, again, plump and juicy. I held mine double to create a DK weight. So use DK weight, get the gauge, find the yarn that you think works for that. It is a slip stitch pattern, so there's not much yarn color management during the rounds, but there is yarn color management up on the inside so that you don't have to cut and sew in 3 million ends. I didn't find that a problem. It was a design that I sat with and didn't, and not tried to put in bags and stuff because, it's a lot of colors. Anyways, we'll talk more about that on October 2nd, but that is coming up. So that'll be, I guess that's not the next time maybe that's the next time we see each other. Anyways, so that's the next publication that's coming. So stay tuned. I hope you like it too. And I will leave you on some fun photos. Like I said, it's been really rainy here. I love it. I love walking in the rain. I think that I'll show you a very famous beach, Horseshoe Beach. One time, one of the videos, it's like a really bright sunny day and they've got the umbrellas. It's early morning. It's when I'm walking the dog. They've got the umbrellas all set up in the chairs, and I think it looked really fun and festive and exciting. And then walking by another day when it was raining and stuff like that, and how moody and exciting the beach and the sea looks too, and the clouds and everything. So I just think that's really interesting, the dichotomy of the two of the same beach. And again, that's called Horseshoe Beach, very famous. It's where, if you're on a cruise ship that comes to Bermuda, you'll probably be taken there. And it's really close to my house. And some other fun walking in the rain shots of the island. I hope you like it. Okay, that's it for me for this week. I hope you like the Dimond Laine Vest. I love it. And stay tuned for more, and stay tuned to see what I do here. Oops. Okay, take care. Thanks again for watching, and happy knitting. Okay, bye.